This is, I believe, the fifth video this morning, and I'm just going to go to the end of it if anybody is listening to this. I have put videos up. A friend gave me this because the law doesn't work for me. The agency that's doing this involves law enforcement, and everybody has something to hide. So that's the deal. They get stuff on them, and people will compromise because I'm this person. I was kidnapped and brought over here, and my name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was given the name of a twin in Moulton, Alabama, and both twins were killed by their mother, Lina. They were born out of wedlock, so I grew up in that hellhole and shack of pigsty is what it was like. I found out the Brits told me, and I look back, the Brits were always there in Germans, some of my German family, and there were some Americans that tried to help, but basically the Americans hate my guts. They just want me to shut up and, hey, you Brit. Well, my mother was an American. How's that? That's not how I ended up here. I was kidnapped. But anyway, I'm British, and so is my father and my children, because I can't go home. I'm a hostage still, and at this point, there's really not much home to go to. My people in England are being slaughtered by refugees. Guess who forced all this war in the Middle East and caused this to all happen? And now then, they're invading all of Europe, so that's just another tactic. Create the war and call them terrorists when guess who's the terrorist? Guess who's the terrorists? Look what they've done to me for 74 years. I'm 76. My immune system attacks itself. I'm allergic to chemicals, and that's they control my lack of place to live or place to live and run me. And I'll say again, I did a book on mind control murders. They were done in patterns, just like the Virginia Tech next door here, that mass murders, 33 of them. In '07, and I could go on and give a whole list. Larry Flint was shot, and I was flown out there, and he helped me in the campaign. And the person that shot him was programmed to shoot him and kill his attorney. And so I'm going to jump to, they use my son's name, Martin Scott, in some of the murders. And it's the synchronicity and all that you can prove it. The ones I talk about, because mind control is invisible. So, anyway, I'm out at Scott Hill. Went out there June the 15th. It's HUD, and it's federally funded. And they came and got me, and it sounds like, if you go back in all this, that they're doing me a favor. Well, they're not. It's horrible. But anyway, I got out there, and glad to get the little room. And I'm just going to skip to, I signed the lease, and she kept that night half of it, half the next. And she kept telling me, the manager, that it was just a 30-day, I could give a 30-day notice. And I thought, well, this is not like you usually have to stay a year and then give a 30-day notice unless you have a health issue, which I do. But anyway, then later they started telling me I found mold and mildew and the carpet soaked, and I found out later a pipe that was underneath it was stopped up. But I left, and because it was black mold. I mean, this is horrible. I took pictures of it. And I guess this is the thing. In the past, I wasn't able to take pictures of people coming in, maintenance or housekeeping. You think that's, you say housekeeping, well, hey, lady, you must have it. No, I didn't have it nice, not any time. Come in and soak your bed, and you try telling it, and you're rolling in the bed that night because you're so sick, and you're running over and washing stuff when you have a place to wash it with money you don't have, and you're eating beans and bacon, and that's it, with an onion thrown in for 17 months at one place, okay? And that's when the state trooper retired, said that this is how we run you. And I've already put his name up there, nothing against him. They made my word no good. It's really what they've done with everybody knowing the truth around here. So, I went back, I left and went back. I left, paid to come up here, I had to pay $100 to come up here and back, plus the rent for a week was $240, so it cost me. I went back. I came up here August 29th, went back September the 5th, because Christy, I called her, and she was going to have it fixed. Well, it wasn't. It was a joke. So I took before and after photos. And I asked her, will you move me, because the other side was better. And by the way, I was told out there, and all these people aren't going to lie, all of these aren't, um, that some of the residents, before I ever came there and took pictures of the black mold, had pets die and things happen. Well, you wonder about some of the other residents, don't you? How they may have, also, well, we'll just blame it on old. I don't know, but I did take pictures of the room I was in. Still there when I left. Anyway, I put all this up on the other tapes, and then God knows I've tried to tell in the other videos I put up. Oh, but Christy said, well, she would move me, and I went down, and 10 minutes later to her office, she pulled the Ford that she was going to show me and rent me, and then suddenly this woman who knows all about, she's the manager, it's a retirement HUD, and she said, oh, well, they're all under being remodeled. Well, that was a lie, too. But anyway, I came back up, and I thought, well, something's wrong with this. And then she called me a little later and said, that same day, no, I do have an apartment, and I'll take you and show you it. And then she says, well, no, that was the next day she was going to show it, because it was supposed to be being cleaned. Well, that was a lie. So I went up there to the apartment, because it had a good view, and it was on the good side, and the door was locked. And the next door neighbor and some people I'd met, the residents there, said, no, that's been cleaned and ready to show for the past month at least. Nobody's been in there cleaning. So anyway, later I thought, well, this is bad. I'm just going to have to leave for good and break the lease. And where she'd told me it was just a 30-day lease, now they were saying, no, they'd charge me for the 12 months now. So anyway, she did call me the next day, I guess, and she was going to show me the apartment. Well, it was nice. Well, for me, somebody else might not think it was, but it was, had a good view and all that. Well, I could get into what happened, and if you're not, this is like this slaughterhouse of me, like United States versus Larry Flint. Well, this is the United States kidnapped and did all this to me, and it's all-out war on me, this one human being. And anyway, then I wanted to, myself, I asked to see the lease. When she got it ready, I wanted to read it good. Well, she would never have it ready. That was the joke. And meanwhile, all this is going on about the mold is bad, and I'm having really reactions to it at the time. And knowing it can get in your lungs and everything. So there's other stuff. It got under the carpet, and you wonder if the mold and mildew got under that. It was wet and soaked and into the sleeve of it. One of the pictures I took, he didn't know how I got that when I got a little bitty a little bitty flashlight that I used in camping, and managed to get it. And it looked like it was going into the wall, the hole there. And anyway, nothing was fixed. So make a long story short, when I left, well, I was told that I was going to suffer the consequences for leaving. And now then, I took the photos because it's wrong. It's at least I could take photos of this, where in the past I couldn't. You can't show fumes coming out of the air conditioning. They'll just stand there and tell you you're nuts and dare you to say anything. Cops told them to do it. Hey, they did it. They broke the law. They got out of it, they think, and so far they have. Point being, this I could take the pictures of, and I had before and after and everything. And by the way, they did have the contractor up there that said there was a leak that caused all that wet.